everybody, and welcome back to LindyScope. This is the scope on movies, TV, and general entertainment. And today we're going to be going through the weekly roundup. And this is everything in TV, movie, entertainment, anything like of the past week. We're just going to go over some of the biggest headlines of this past, few 7 days. One of the biggest headlines so far is the Harry Potter series. But this is actually different from, the casting release and stuff. This is actually their season 2. HBO is actually in the works for the Harry Potter series season 2 right now. They're working on season 2 with season 1 actually yet to have been released. A lot of hate revolving around that, especially Snape's casting. In my opinion, I think this casting is pretty darn good. A lot of the complaints are coming from what you see without actually watching the show yet. And I feel like people need to watch the show before they hate on the show. You know what I mean? Give the guy a break. The actor for Snape actually has been receiving tons of hate, even death threats. People go as far as to put threats on his life because he got casted for a role. I don't understand that at all. I've always been a big believer in before hating, maybe watch it. Maybe watch the show and see, and then you can say what you want. But I think he's gonna kill it. I think he's gonna do a phenomenal job. But yeah, season 2 of HBO's Harry Potter series is officially in the works. They're at HBO. And so they have pretty high hopes for it. And our next highlight of last week's news is Project Hail Mary is now the most successful Amazon movie of all time. For those of you that don't know, Project Hail Mary was actually an Amazon project, and it has actually grossed $317 million worldwide on a budget of $190 million, actually surpassing the studio's previous big box office entries, which were Red 1, which actually came out, I think, 2 years ago around Christmas time. It was a Christmas movie featuring The Rock, J.K. Simmons, all that. And then The Beekeeper, which The Beekeeper was a Jason Statham movie, came out also around 2 years ago. But those were their two biggest projects before Project Hail Mary. And honestly, I think this was a pretty low bar for them to beat. Red 1 was okay. The Beekeeper was okay. A little better than Red 1 in my opinion. But Project Hail Mary, I actually saw it for the second time yesterday, and it's phenomenal. It's a very, very good movie. And I think it's a low bar for them to beat as one of Amazon MGM's highest grossing or most successful projects. But it's still very good. It's phenomenal. It did an amazing job. I think visually it was stunning. Story-wise was very good. The humor was pretty good. It's very Ryan Gosling-esque humor, and we're all Ryan Gosling. Anyway, getting into our third headline. Jumanji 4 has officially wrapped filming. So for those of you that don't know, they are making a fourth Jumanji movie, and it is coming out it is coming out on Christmas. Actually, they're going to try and push to a Christmas release. They actually recently changed the release date. It wasn't originally going to be December 25th. It was actually December 11th, but they push it 2 weeks back. In my opinion, I think it's to kind of target the family viewership, the Christmas time, make it sort of a Christmas movie kind of thing. Not that it's going to be a Christmas movie, but targeting that family viewership, I think is what they're going to try and do with this one. But it's officially wrapped filming. It is the fourth installment of the Jumanji franchise, so that is including the Robin Williams Jumanji from the 90s. That's still my favorite one. And then they had the Jumanji Into the Jungle. Then they had The Next Level. And now this one, I think the final level it's called, Jumanji 4, The Final Level. So same cast, you got Jack Black, Kevin Hart, The Rock. Still an amazing cast. And I'm very excited to see what they do with this one. But anyway, we're going to get right into our next headline. This one is the drama. This is Zendaya and Robert Pattinson's movie. It actually opened to a 91% on Rotten Tomatoes. And the film actually follows a happily engaged couple who get put to the test when an unexpected revelation sends their wedding week off the rails. And now the trailer for this movie looks very interesting. I'm still not very sure what it's about, but I'm very excited to see how they go about explaining what this is, because I'm very on the ropes about what I still am yet to know what it's even about. Because when I was watching the trailer, I was trying to kind of infer, is this a love story? Is this a romance thing? I don't think it's a romance thing. I think it's a kind of almost brings up A24 energy, something like that. But we're gonna see what it brings. But yeah, they opened with 91%, so very high score so far on Rotten Tomatoes, which is hard to achieve. Anyway, now one of our best headlines, our newest, or another one of our headlines today, is that Marvel reportedly wants to move up the release of Avengers Doomsday to December 11th. Because as you know, I'm sure a lot of you know that Avengers Doomsday and Dune Part 3 are coming out on December 18th, December 18th of this year at this same exact day. And a lot of people are calling it Avengers Doomsday, Doomsday. A lot of people are just calling it Doomsday too. But I think the main reason they want to do this is to actually secure IMAX screenings. Because if those of you that don't know, Dune actually bought up all the IMAX screenings for December 18th, like for the first couple weeks they're showing. And since they're on the same day, the Doomsday couldn't get any of those screenings. They couldn't. So they can't show really in IMAX at all. They have to do standard format, and they have to take advantage of those other formats. But the reason I think they would want to move up is so they can actually use IMAX for the first week of actually being in theaters before Dune takes them all. I think this would be a good idea for them to do that. You know what? I will keep you updated if they do end up moving it. I don't think they will, but if they do, it's going to be pretty big news. Next up, we have that Scream 8 is officially in the works. So for those of you that don't know, Scream 7 was just released about a month ago. Pretty half and half kind of reviews there. I feel like I've heard very mixed opinions on it. I haven't seen Scream 7 yet. I did watch Scream 6. I was actually a pretty big fan of Scream 6, but did not watch Scream 7. Still have to. I've heard very mixed opinions. I'll let you guys know when I see it. But yeah, Scream 8 is officially in the works. They're writing the script on it right now. And yeah, it's a pretty small headline, but I mean, for those Scream fans out there, they're in the works. So if you love your Scream movies, there's an 8th one coming. Our next headline is Fall 2 will officially release on August 7th of 2026. Now, this one is very interesting to me. I recently watched Fall for the first time around 2-3 months ago. And I liked the film. It's a very interesting film. I didn't know it was made by BuzzFeed until I watched it. I was like, oh, is this a BuzzFeed movie? This could be interesting. Did not know it was made by BuzzFeed. But it was actually it was pretty good. Pretty good premise. And, the two girls, for those who don't know, it's like two girls go to this tall tower and basically they get stranded up there with no way down. It's a pretty good movie, and they find a way to, and it's a pretty good movie. I personally wasn't a huge fan of it. I mean, I'm not an amazing fan of it. It's just one of those movies. I don't understand how you make a second one, especially if you've seen the first one. You're like, okay, this is a one and done kind of film. But apparently they have a second one coming out this August on the 7th. So I'll see it, but I'm going to be very skeptical because I'm not sure how you make a second one of this unless it's different characters. But if you've seen the movie, you would probably need different characters. So the Backrooms movie, which I'm sure a lot of you have heard about. I mean, the Backrooms are a huge phenomenon. Like Roblox horror, kind of like, it's a very niche horror thing, but it's become very popular the last few years. And A24 is actually making a Backrooms movie for those who have not heard, and it is officially rated R. They have officially, gotten the rating for it, and it's rated R. So that means there might be some blood, might be some swear word, but then again, could just be swear words. I don't know a whole lot about this film. I hope it's one of those things that the creature is not really shown until the ending, or it's kind of mysterious, which usually the Backrooms are. The creature's pretty mysterious usually. But I'm really excited to see how this will work, but it's in theaters May 29th. I'm really excited to see A24's take on this movie and on this whole thing, the Backrooms. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun movie. 1:45 runtime. So yeah, it's gonna be a good one. Moving on to our next one. A producer has confirmed that Avatar 4 and 5 are both officially happening. So I remember before Fire and Ash released, I made a video on James Cameron in a James Cameron interview. He basically said, if Fire and Ash flops, I'm not making another one. And of course, Fire and Ash isn't going to flop. It's an Avatar movie. They're going to do pretty well. So 4 and 5 are actually officially happening, according to this headline. And he actually, on quote, the interviewee, in quote, said, right now we're figuring out the schedule. We're working hard on it right now, budgeting, scheduling, planning, building at our new pipeline for them. Personally, I've not seen Fire and Ash yet. I was a pretty big fan of the first Avatar. I think a lot of people are. I really liked Way of the Water. I think visually it was stunning. I really liked the story in Way of the Water as well. Fire and Ash, I've heard very mixed things on it as well. Most have been good, but a lot of people also compare it to the second one, saying that they're very similar, that they're the same thing. I would have to watch the third one, though, to really give a full opinion on it. But I've heard mixed things. But yeah, so Avatar fans out there, Avatar 4 and 5 are officially happening, so make sure you get ready for that one. Another headline, another pretty big headline from last week is a RoboCop reboot is officially in the works at Amazon. James Wan is actually going to be the executive producer of this movie. If you don't know James Wan, he is the mind behind the Conjuring movies. He has some good, like, fear factor behind him. He's a pretty good director, like, of scarier stuff. Not saying the Conjuring movies are the scariest movies I've ever seen in my life, but they do a pretty good job at, like, you know, giving you a little bit of fear. So he will be the executive producer of those. So I'm sure this RoboCop will give on kind of like a, I don't know. We'll see what they do with this RoboCop reboot. I'm actually pretty excited to see this one because I've never really been a huge fan of RoboCop in general. It's kind of like, I don't know. It's just not like my kind of movie. But we'll see what they do with this one. Maybe I'll get back into Maybe I'll get into RoboCop because James Wan's executive producer of it. I really am a huge fan of James Wan, but we will see. Anyway, our next headline. Now, this is our final headline of this week, and this is actually the Super Mario Galaxy movie made back 300% of its budget in 72 hours. Now, the reason this is a pretty big one is due to the fact that on Rotten Tomatoes, the Super Mario Galaxy movie has been looking really bad. They actually opened it to a 44% on Rotten Tomatoes. Critics do not like this movie. And I don't really understand why. I liked the first Super Mario movie. I thought it wasn't, honestly, when I first saw the trailer for the first one, I was like, what are they doing? Why are we doing this? I'm not a huge fan. I don't like this really that much. It doesn't look like it's going to be good, something I'll enjoy. And I finally watched it about 3 months after its release on like Netflix or whatever it was on. I actually really enjoyed it. It was like a guilty pleasure of mine. Like I actually really saw myself liking the movie. Like I was like, wow, this is really good. And Super Mario Galaxy movie came out. Have not seen it yet. Came out last Friday. Yeah, they've made back 300% of its budget in 72 hours. So clearly audiences love it. And that's kind of how the last Super Mario movie was. It had a very low score on the critics score for Rotten Tomatoes on the tomato meter. But the audience ratings loved the movie. And I don't really understand how that happens. I know that happens a lot because audiences aren't as critical about stuff and critics are just, critical. It's in their name. I don't know. I mean, it's honestly good for them because I love these movies. The first one, I did not expect to like it, and I did like it. And the second one, still got to see it, but made back 300% of its budget in 72 hours. That is pretty impressive, pretty darn impressive. And people have actually been speculating on what the highest grossing movie of this year is going to be. And a lot of people are saying that it will be the Super Mario Galaxy movie. And so far, this is a pretty big milestone in 72 hours. I am just saying. And but a lot of people say it's not as good as the first one. But I mean, we'll see. It's Mario. Mario's a goat, and everyone loves Mario. And I think the voice acting is so good. Chris Pratt does a really good job at Mario. Jack Black, obviously. Jack Black's Bowser is amazing. So yeah, that is pretty much everything. Really quick though, we're just gonna before I out of this one, we're gonna quickly go over the movies, big movies coming out, big movie releases actually of this month, since it is the beginning of April. I want to do this too. Every episode, I want to make sure we go over some of these. So the biggest one of April is the Michael biopic coming out April 24th. And since the Super Mario Galaxy movie came out last Friday, so as of filming this, it's Sunday. So it came out around 2 days ago. Pretty much the biggest releases of April are the Michael movie and the Super Mario Galaxy movie. But the Michael movie does come out April 24th. And this is going to be a really good one. I'm really excited for this one. It is Jafar Jackson is playing Michael Jackson. And Jafar Jackson, for those of you that don't know, is actually Michael Jackson's nephew. And he looks the part. I will say he looks the part. And this is one I'm super excited for. Michael Jackson, he's always been one of those guys. I think he's always been one of those musicians that everyone's a huge fan of. It's really hard to not enjoy Michael Jackson's discography. Is that how you say it? Discography, right? Anyway, it's very hard to not be a fan of his music, and I think it's going to do a phenomenal job telling his story as well. It's just one of those movies I've been excited for since I saw the trailer, and I think a lot of people can agree with that. But yeah, biggest movies of April. April, not a lot of heavy hitters, but you know, we have the Michael biopic coming out April 24th. Make sure you get your tickets and get ready for that one. But anyway, that is gonna do it for today's episode. Let me know if you like this kind of content, and if you enjoyed the video and you learned something new, maybe give your boy a subscribe. Maybe give your boy a maybe subscribe to your boy. I don't know why I said that. Your boy's kind of weird. I don't want to be that guy. But maybe give your boy a subscription. Maybe subscribe to your boy if you enjoyed it. But anyway, that's gonna do it with today's episode. Yeah, I mean, follow me on all my socials. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Follow me. Maybe you'll like it. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. And if your day is at the end of your day, then I hope your day was good. But yeah, anyway, peace out.